Good evening. This is the Rutland Town Planning Commission, and this is September 11th of 2025. Welcome, everyone. Let's start the meeting off with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda. Second.
Okay, any discussion, any contention?
Which agenda? I know we had the 7:31 agenda that we didn't have enough voters for last time.
Oh,
This isn't minutes. We're just doing the,
yeah,
just doing the tonight's agenda.
even though there was
Okay.
a mix-up on the agenda as well, you're not far off. Due to me. But yeah, this is just the agenda. So, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, unanimous. Public comment, we can skip over that and go right down to new business. We have another boundary line adjustment to look at the same property we looked at.
March
Yeah.
earlier, yeah, but I think you're the last one.
What has changed since then?
So, and we have said, and the owners are on the remote. And we've said, we wish we had done this at the same time, but, so this is the same property. But Carol Baird owns another parcel that's adjacent to the Levins lot. And I've got, so it's just a request to allow a boundary line to add approximately 2 acres to the, what is now the Levins, about 14-acre lot. And I can give you drawings. The big picture is in yellow is the Levins parcel, and the hatching in red is the boundary line adjustment that's requested. Carol Baird owns the red hatched parcel. It's a 7.8 acre parcel that is behind that row of residences on the north or east, however you want to call it, of McKinley. That parcel is a 7.8.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and that here again is a map that Carcel has drawn that shows the actual acreage of that red hatched parcel. Pretty the right way. It's consistent. So there's that parcel behind those lots. And so this would be, we have the survey drawing of that second handout that I gave you by Carcel. That's basically a copy of that second drawing I gave you. The first drawing comes off of a 2008 George Stannard survey that shows the Levins lot that was formerly a part of the Baird property. So this is a line drawn through the middle of that 7-acre lot. And so approximately 2 acres would go, if the boundary line is approved, we propose, we go into that 14-acre yellow lot, yellow outline Levins lot. And what's remaining is a little bit more than 5 acres. That's to the west and south of that, what would be left of that 7.8 acre parcel. This does go along with the contour of the land. There's a steep section that goes toward the west there. So that pulls that section of the steep kind of drop off in that area. There's ledge in there. There's some wetness in that area too, if this is proposed. And Peace Creek is gnawing away at the bank of the creek. But that's the proposal. I mean, if there are any other questions, this is, I didn't make copies of this, but this shows, this was a 2008 standard map. It's sort of it shows the outline of all the properties. And Howard, I'm sure you remember, there's another drawing that shows the town highway department down in this area, but if this lot line proposal is approved, there are people along Route on McKinley Ave that would be adjacent. And those people are listed on my application, Don Daly, and I think there are 3 or 4 others. And their names are on that second piece that I gave you.
Yeah, Remington and what's the wait? McGee's, the Wheelers, Don Daly.
Yeah.
And you have a question mark after Richard Dutiel?
And I guess that could be also Eric Dutel, because they are off to the west. Let's see, they're here. Another.
Any questions?
Awful big boundary line adjustment. Remember what we had for,
It's 2 acres, Howard, and I mean, I did the looking at the regulations as to whether, I mean, this isn't creating a new subdivision, so it didn't, because it would be tacking onto a parcel that already exists. So if the boundary line adjustment is approved, there are no new parcels created, so it didn't seem like a subdivision application was the proper way to go about it.
It kind of, the fact that there's an easement right up to it kind of makes you think that there might be something.
There's a big
Subdivision.
Velcro power line that goes up to the corner and then comes down. And there is an existing New York Tel easement through this property also. That, I mean, I hate to say that, I don't think they'll ever be used, but.
will there be a new deed that shows, that goes around your yellow that you've got here? And around what you've got marked that you want to take in, so one deed is gonna go all the way around it?
Yes, that would be my plan, would be to do a deed that incorporates the other adjustment that had been done. And if this is done, the same, and also to provide at the next meeting, have Corcel do a map like you asked for before, I believe, that shows the attachment to the existing parcel. So you can see exactly, you know, how they will end up.
Did we not ever get the last, it was filed with that change, that elbow change that we, okay.
Okay. Well, in the application, the commission is asked, whether we can tell whether the proposed changes to the boundary lines are evident, clear.
They seem to be.
Well, yeah, okay.
Go ahead, Howard.
I'm just looking at, I see the bearing, I was looking for the bearings in the distance, okay, I see what I was looking for.
Is that on this map, Howard, that you're?
It's
looking
on
at?
this, yeah, it's
Yeah.
on this map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actual distances, there is an index on the full drawing. Here's the bearings table.
Yep.
Here.
To show that to Howard,
That's
please.
That's there also. Howard, here's those are the bearings.
Okay, so. In a second.
Is the New York Tel easement
Yeah.
on the same easement with Velco here? Or is it on here and I just don't see it maybe?
Yeah, I think Carol Baird bought part of that
It's-
back
But to me,
some years
this line
ago.
should be removed.
So it,
If we're gonna
goes
do this,
again.
but this line should be removed,
But
because it's all gonna be,
here's the.
gonna be part of this right here.
I understand. That's for the final. We haven't seen what was.
The Velco easement, yeah.
Bill, did we see the survey
On the last time, so, yeah.
as the finals, that, what the
Yeah,
final
it
would
came,
be?
it came through, yeah.
Okay,
Do we have any size that we?
and did it
used
come
in the
through
past,
as
or-
one
That was the
parcel?
question that we
or-
raised last time.
I'm just asking
With,
from your
uh,
Puts it
standpoint, wouldn't you
beyond
want to
the
know where?
boundary
Boundary
line.
line adjustment.
That's
But
what-
it showed
I mean,
the new
It's if,
Mylar was
Seems
for
like
the
it should
new
be-
parcel
roads,
incorporating
Part of
that.
it if it's
with
there.
that.
facilities.
With no dividing, without dividing the
It's
new.
not like the
For everybody.
subdivision.
Yeah.
Well, this
Okay.
transfer isn't
All
gonna,
right.
isn't gonna,
Lots.
isn't going
Minor, I
to
mean,
affect any of
Does the
that
transfer
anyway.
of responsibilities to.
I mean, if it's there, it's there.
right, right.
I mean, in future, if it happens.
No, it doesn't affect the
No,
lot line adjustment.
isn't there an
I
easement?
don't know, I
that is
can't
within
remember,
one
there's no regulation on it, right, that says the size of the,
Boundary line adjustment.
I don't think.
We've discussed it.
Just a lot of-
Is
Yeah.
there an easement which is?
I mean, it's
um,
part of this.
Oh,
The only,
We've been talking.
the
about.
only thing that
That's the
would be
question I
bad
have
is,
when
would
you're
be is if all of a sudden this parcel that's going to obtain the Levins parcel is gonna be so big that it could do other things than was intended, but I don't think that's the case here, I don't know.
I was gonna ask a question. Do we use the parcel viewer? It's ArcGIS program they have for property lines and stuff, and I'm not sure if that's,
This is the.
Yeah,
if that's
of course,
accurate,
we
because
don't-
right here, they're showing that by Carol. And it's
That's what I thought.
51.49
Yeah.
acres.
This here-
And
And that's
it
this over here.
was sold seller on 115.
It's a new map.
Buyer
2025.
Francis Levins.
Right.
Yeah,
That was done, that was done. for
So
the
that's,
last-
that's
no, that was-
bought some of the land, now they're just trying to.
right.
Now he's adjusting, he wants to add a couple acres to it.
That doesn't.
Out of
Yeah,
the
apparently
50
the-
something
He owns
acres.
this, see, I think we're this,
But the.
That's why I just want to have a visual. I think that's the easement that you have right here.
correct.
Just one.
Yep, you got it.
But
Then
then,
it takes a 90-degree
Down
turn.
here and up, is that?
No.
then if
that's
he's
right here.
following this
It's,
up,
That's
This portion.
comes up to.
Well, what we're not seeing is the
And
rest of
then he
the
wants to like
parcel
cut
on,
something through here.
on here.
Loses this.
Right.
I mean, it's still part of
That.
the Baird. So I'm trying to see like where we're working with it. They have this whole line
So it's in
here.
yellow.
Look at, I
See
tried
this?
to.
And that's
See
where,
this spot right
Here,
here,
Howard.
right under your cursor there,
is-
that, see
this-
the
this
90
right
degree in
here.
the river?
yeah, so this is the
So now
bend.
he's adding, yeah,
Or-
so he's adding a piece down,
So
And
like
this, that.
here.
two-acre
Correct.
parcel would
down,
belong
not all the way to the road though, that's
Just down to
another,
But it should
here,
be a.
just
down
down
to,
to, down to the back of a
There
lot,
should be a
correct?
plat that just
Basically.
shows this
Under the back of a
this
lot.
entire thing,
Yeah, I'm trying to-
all the way around.
where's
It
that
doesn't,
lot
this
at?
doesn't, this
Because,
just
Right.
shows a piece.
yeah,
of it.
they'd have to
Right.
identify, because I mean,
Asked for the same
that's
thing
the
last
back,
time.
yes, this would be the
We
back
brought
lot
that
here,
Has both.
and then that corner.
Right, so
So
he would
was
be
that that
coming,
much?
he would be coming about like
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
And so this,
Oops,
this one line
he going
gets,
about like
gets
this.
removed.
Yeah, right
Adding
there.
Line, this line here won't be on it.
Exactly,
That's
that's
It's
what
no
I'm saying.
longer.
That's correct.
Okay.
With this, with this change, this
Okay,
comes out.
let's come back to order
Yeah.
here
This is
so
how it
that
has to come out. Yeah.
things can get picked up in the microphones. Discussions.
Did you need this?
So the definition of boundary adjustment.
Yep.
Any revision to a plat legally filed with the town, which creates no new building lots and which will have no impact on rights of way, roads, or other public facilities.
That's why I asked my question. Can't live.
So Dana, that's why you asked that question?
Well, the easements, I needed to understand whether there was an impact on an easement / right away. And it doesn't seem like there is. That's why, that was the question I was asking.
Okay. Okay, any other comments?
The only thing is, the survey plat that they record should show the whole thing. should show.
I agree. Yeah. Just like we did last time, Howard, this was the one we did last time we got. This was the piece that, where the boundary line changed. So you want, yeah, I agree with you. We need.
Entire parcel, the entire new
Yeah,
parcel,
and remove this line would get removed, this.
right?
Exactly.
Okay,
boundary
so
line here.
hold on to those thoughts. So we have proposed changes to boundary lines that are clear to us. We have a name and address of professional preparer. We have numerical and graphic scale of plan, date, and north arrow. And existing features and facilities, including roads, public utilities, and utility easements, wooded areas, structures, water courses, ledge wet areas, excessively steep slopes, and rights of way, if applicable.
Well, Jim mentioned that there was a steep slope, but I don't know if that applies since it's already on the original parcel, the Baird parcel, and it's being transferred to the Levins parcel. So I don't know whether that makes a difference or not. It's up by that line that is being extended to shorten the parcel 2A. I think it's here. Is that right, Jim? This area, that's where that steep ledge is?
Yes.
Okay.
It's, I'm sorry, no, it's
No.
over, it's here. It's in this vicinity here.
It's in that vicinity, okay.
Yeah, then it flattens
Because this
out.
parcel is going to Levins from
Baird.
Baird. Yep.
Right.
Okay, all right. So it's a little
It-
further north or east.
Okay, so it's,
But Barb, everything that you're reading off, we don't have the plat in front of us that shows all of what you're talking about. We got this
Okay.
we got this in pieces right now. We
Yes.
don't have a survey plat.
mhm,
I don't know.
okay. That's a good point.
Just a question, the ArcGIS for parcel viewer that Vermont has, the state government has like a parcel viewer. Is that updated through the records we provide them?
Assume so.
Yeah, it
I just-
periodically it's
I mean, I
updated.
have it here. I'm seeing the parcels like, what Baird had was like 51 acres. 1.49 acres, and then just looking at the lot and just trying to, find Mr. Daly's property. There's some of the other lines in there. So I was just saying you could get an overall view of it from, if we want, I could post it up on the screen if you guys wanted to see it or pass around the laptop.
But what we need to see is the actual plat. We need to see the actual survey plat but not what GIS has.
The after adjustment.
Oh, after the adjust, yeah, not,
Right.
Right.
So the same surveyor created the plat that's been recorded that shows this parcel that that the 2 acres will be added to. So, and last time we created between this meeting and the next meeting, that survey. So that's what I'm proposing that we do, that we have a specific identification of the 2 acres that's going to be moved from one parcel to the other. And when we come the next time, we'll have the survey map that will show the entire new parcel, assuming that the boundary line adjustment is granted.
So can we approve it without seeing at this point, without seeing the final parcel? Can we approve what you?
I don't think we should.
All right. I mean, I'm anticipating another meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, and our next meeting would be the 2nd of
Right.
October,
Okay.
if that works.
Yeah.
Or the 23rd.
We should be able to accomplish it in October.
Yeah. So is there a motion
There's
to?
no motion needed if we're not. is there?
Probably, I mean, we're going to a hearing. And everyone is fine with that. Okay, so we probably don't need a motion.
Just a point of
Well, the
order. Do we
hearing-
always have a hearing when we have a boundary line adjustment?
I think we do.
Yep, okay.
It gets warned, it gets warned like a subdivision does.
So that's
So,
why I
okay.
think a motion might be appropriate.
Okay, so I'll make that motion.
Set the date, the 3rd. Okay,
So I would make a motion
to schedule a hearing on a boundary line, a Baird Levins boundary line adjustment for October 2nd.
Second, right?
Second.
Okay, any,
So at that point, we would expect to see the new plat.
Mhm.
And that's 3 weeks. Is that enough time?
Yes.
Okay.
okay, anything else? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We gave you some more marching orders.
Okay.
Okay.
Mayor was not available.
Hey, Barbara, did you say, is our next meeting October 2nd, or is that when the hearing is?
Yes,
Yes, yeah, I think I might have said the third, it's the second.
Oh, okay,
I said
Second is a Thursday.
2nd is a Thursday.
The second is correct.
oh, okay, the 2nd. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
you.
Thanks.
Everybody.
Night.
All right.
You too.
Okay, we'll move down to, and thank you, Carol and Francis, for joining
you.
us.
Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Move down to old business. So, I wasn't here at the last meeting when you looked at the Ferrisburg example, but reading the minutes, I understand that maybe it didn't quite fit the bill for what we're looking at. So, the Regional Planning Commission, the planner that does a lot of these, that does these bylaws, had some time and he put together what's called the starting point subdivision regulations for our consideration. And I think it's done. Almost.
Oh,
Yeah. So why don't we, I don't know if you've had a chance to look this over. Let's see how far we can get through tonight. So the table of contents are a little bit different than what we do.
well, if we like this, then I would probably take the time to make it look like what we would use.
Okay.
I mean, whether it's 100, 101, 102, 103, or 0, 101,
Over the past several years, I've brought consistency to help
Right.
every ordinance and everything, so I would.
you would adapt it, right? All I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what the leading digit or letter is, we can adapt that.
And I think we should, whenever the title comes up, we should call it a subdivision bylaw. I know Logan in here uses regulations most of the time. But statutorily, I think it ties in better if we use that language. Page 2 are the definitions. And I'm not quite sure why he thought, I guess, in the red font there, he thought it might be good to just cite the statute there in reference to the municipal plan, town plan.
You're talking about D? Page
Yes,
2 of 11,
yeah.
under 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my comment was I needed an explanation. So,
Oh, here's something we need to change. Number 3, Board of Adjustment.
yep, I also had that question.
So, we're thinking about including D?
I noticed his comments seem to be the additional, like additional sections or numbers. They're not to be included as what they say they are. Like that's, I think he's just giving that for context. His
Right.
comment is what came before that is derived from the definitions in that statute. I don't think he was intending for that to be, for his words to be included.
No,
It's,
Because reading some of his other comments, they just are like, oh, here's what I meant for this, here's what I meant for that.
my reading, Bill, was similar. I think the D was an accidental addition
Yeah, he
and it
does
was
that
just
throughout a
supposed
few
to be.
different things. So I think they're just meant to be comments, not
Yeah.
extra lines in the rules.
oh, and number 4 is something we do not have in our existing ordinance, the certificate of subdivision
Right.
compliance. So that's an option to add. The size of subdivisions, he has as
Where are you now, Barbara?
10, 11, and
Okay.
12.
So before you get there, I have an observation about B under 6. Provides for proposed future land uses, densities, and intensities of development contained within the municipal plan. I think that needs to be cross-referenced, if nothing more than putting a page number or set of page numbers. Because if we are talking about that being something that is included by definition within the municipal plan, those things should be added for ease of reference for anybody who has to go back and check that.
Hesitation is if we do this, say we adopt this with page numbers and in 2 or 3 years, what we're going to need to do is update our municipal plan. If those page numbers change,
Mhm.
we have to come back to this document and change the document, which requires opening it back up again to change page numbers.
That doesn't sound like a good idea.
Maybe we can have a section in the town plan. If there's a section that's titled something, we can reference the title of the
Right.
section, so that way the page number is relevant, the title is the same. I don't know if we have anything in the current one, but that would be probably closer.
I don't think we do.
But also, it's not like it's, 500-page document either, so.
Okay,
Well, as we found out with the current regulations, we have like references to zoning, we can't take it out until we open up the whole document. So if we change page numbers that become wrong, we don't want to send people to the wrong reference.
So rather than solve that problem now, can we just indicate that's something we need to do?
Yeah.
yeah, my understanding, and I may be wrong, but as I worked with policies in a school district for a long time, you do not have to open up and re-examine and go through the same process of adoption if you are only correcting typos or other things that are of a non-substantive nature. I think a page number reference would be that, but I'm not a lawyer. I would throw that out. Let's see whether.
That's true.
I'm just saying how it applies. The policy is developed it within a school district. If
Right.
it's of a non-substantive nature, you do not have to open up the process. You can just make the,
What defines non-substantive and. Well, it's an interesting point. That's something we,
a page number is where you find that information, just like a section.
right.
But
Okay.
that would be a question for a legal mind, and they actually might differ on the interpretation if you ask 2 different people. So for what that's worth, that I think there needs to be some way when we reference other documents, we need to have a rather succinct method of pointing people to the right
place. But other than that, go ahead, Barbara, you can move on down. I don't have any other comments.
These all
on that.
seem pretty generic, under 6, so I'm not sure we need the cross reference. Is many of these things are throughout the plan.
My thinking was that when you're talking about land uses, you're actually talking not about the municipal plan itself, but the land use map. And that bullet point jumped out at me as being more complex than just the general nature of A and C. That's just my perspective. You can do with it what you will.
Okay, let's come back to that. So number 10, subdivision, is a division of 2 or more lots. I think that is in compliance with our ordinance now.
Yep.
It's just what the limit is, the difference between minor and major.
Yes.
Okay. So I think we can, anything else on page 2? Okay, page 3.
Under 2, applicability, general provisions. The applicant for a non-exempt proposed subdivision shall apply for and receive a subdivision permit in accordance with these regulations. You want that word regulations to be bylaws?
Yeah, every time regulations is used.
Okay, I've got another question there then. Prior to commencing any construction, development, or land clearing, or prior to the sale, lease, or conveyance of any subdivided portion of a property. I don't believe that those provisions are currently in our subdivision bylaws. And I was just curious as to whether they should be, or whether those identifiers present any potential challenges in application.
I have another question along with that on number 2. It says the applicant for a non-exempt proposed subdivision, and yet we don't have a definition for exempt and non-exempt in our definitions.
I think there is a
Right below
definition,
that.
or do we?
It's number 4
Pardon?
below that.
Number 4 says exemptions.
There is an
Oh,
exemption.
okay.
Yeah, there it is, right.
But should that be in our definitions?
I would agree that it probably should be.
Okay. Good one.
What's the intent of exemption A, a boundary or lot line adjustment where no new lot is created? I'm assuming the intent is that if you had 2 lots and you were gonna subdivide one of them, you're not gonna create a 3rd lot. That's the intent.
Just what we did tonight.
Yep. Well, yeah, so we're just shifting the boundary line, but it's not creating a new lot, but
That's right.
is it technically a new lot because it's not the original lot? I mean, I'm just playing in semantics and words, but I'm just saying, if we're saying a new lot, I'm just curious if there's any legal ramifications, because technically it's a new lot. It's not the original lot.
We could say no
really.
separate lot.
No additional,
No additional?
No,
Okay.
yeah.
I just think
That
new is not really a
clarifies it.
good
Yeah.
word that,
because if you change the size, you've changed the
a
lot.
lot, therefore it's a new lot
Yeah.
by definition.
It-
By,
But I think no additional lot.
That would be a better-
clarify. Yeah.
all right.
Okay, it's good.
Nice observation, Dimitri.
No, no, not a new, but no additional.
Okay, moving
So,
on.
so back to number two, I don't think anybody chimed in on my observation about prior to commencing construction development or clearing the land, because include when we're looking at a, you know, the boundary line adjustment, maybe that's not the applicable case for tonight, but say they were going to do a subdivision, would we be asking for construction, development, or land clearing plans or potential sale, which we have not done previously, I don't think, since I've been on the planning commission. I'm not saying that we can't have it. I'm just asking what the implications are if we include those terms.
We take them at face value, or that when they say that they haven't done this, I'm not sure we need to do much more than that.
I guess my question, Barbara, is we don't usually ask people what they're planning to do as a result of the subdivision. This seems to give us more authority to ask that question. If that's what we want, that's great. I'm just asking the question.
I think that it's only saying that before any one or more of these takes place, there has to be a subdivision permit granted.
But we don't have any
Right.
role in enforcing that, other than providing the,
But is there
Certificate.
some benefit to just having it stated in here that that is our wish?
So I guess my question is, this seems to imply that if Sherman wants to sell his house or his property, he needs to come before us and get,
No, this is
Ah,
just,
Mhm.
this
sub-
is,
subdivision.
you're coming in for a subdivision permit. And before you can do any of the preparations in the lot
okay,
or anything, or any construction of any structure,
okay.
yeah.
The implication is that there's some step where that is approved or reviewed to see if those conditions have been met.
So the same with Demetrius' observation about the new lot. I'm hung up on the sale part. And I don't want the bylaws to say something that we can't or aren't interested in supporting. So the clarity is important. So it's not prior to the sale of a property. It's prior to the carving up a parcel and selling it off.
Yeah,
I mean, conveyance, at its root, convey.
Right.
Which is to make, you know, an idea, impression, or feeling.
Impression,
So if
yeah.
I were to say, hey, I'm thinking about subdividing this, when I have to get a permit before I can even say that to my neighbor that wants to purchase, like, you know, before I convey the idea of subdividing, do I have to get a permit? Right? Is that, I think, what you're trying to?
Yeah, I mean, conveyance in this context, I
It's
think,
transferring.
transfer, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just, I just,
So if, as using tonight as an example, he's already purchased that property or has he not? I mean, that doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to put that in a weird
you're
spot.
talking about the boundary line adjustment
Yeah.
area, the 2 acres.
So you're saying that if he has purchased that, but yet he wants to subdivide it, he can't go and do anything on it? He can't clear trees? He can't do
if
anything?
he wants
Is
a
that my
subdivision permit, he has to wait till he gets the permit.
What are acceptable forms of transfer of property?
I just, you know, I'm just saying if he's purchased that, if he has purchased that piece of property with the idea, I don't know. I just think this falls right into that whole this falls right into the hands of some people on the select board that don't want, does it not? That they're talking about control and who's doing what and what's doing. I mean, this is exactly
Perhaps.
what they don't want.
Okay.
I
Yeah, I
feel
mean,
like
it certainly is
there's another
optional.
section that we're coming up on later that has.
It
some
sounds
verbiage.
to me a little bit like zoning, and I didn't want to get into the zoning question.
Right. That's all I'm saying. is
Yeah.
It sounds like stuff that we're being told we can't go near, to me, a little bit.
To me, it's just timing of that
Yeah,
stuff.
I kind of don't see it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, you own a piece of property, right? You have, say, 10 acres. You can clear the land, you can do whatever you want. But then if all of a sudden you're intending to subdivide it, you're somehow prohibited from it.
And isn't that what I'm saying?
Yeah, but,
So that's what
and
I'm
so I
wondering.
don't see how this, in a way, how this works. Because obviously you own this piece of property, you can do what you want with it, right, at the time.
Right.
Then after you have it cleared and done, they come to us with subdivision.
And do we need to get involved in
Exactly.
clearing and getting out there
And
and
to-
telling,
and-
okay, you can do this or you can't do that? I mean,
And we don't have any right to deal with that anyway. I mean, the way we are right now, we don't have any
Okay,
jurisdiction over it anyway.
and as we're talking through this, I may have an answer to my question, and maybe it helps the two of you too. I don't know. I was confused and hung up on what they're talking about. It does say in the end, and so maybe this is just a phrasing issue. Or conveyance of any subdivided portion of a property. So I apologize if I have confused everybody else, including myself, but I've got to read this again. The applicability, the applicant for a non-exempt, so in other words, they have to go through the subdivision process. Proposed subdivision shall apply for and receive a subdivision permit in accordance with these bylaws for any subdivided portion of a property. And all of that other stuff is incidental. I wasn't reading it that way. But if you take all of that stuff out, then
It makes sense.
it makes sense. It's just that there was too much.
And maybe more
Intervene.
palatable to the general audience. Okay.
So the question is that I'm coming up with now is you can't do any of these things on a subdivided portion of a property until you get your subdivision permit. Is that right?
And how do you subdivide them without the permit?
Isn't that
So
only if you
it takes us
plan-
around in a circle.
Only if you plan to subdivide that portion, that segment of the property?
I'm gonna go clear
I
my
think
land today. I'm not planning on subdividing it. Oh, tomorrow I had an epiphany. I want to subdivide it. How do we
That's-
know what the intent
Yes.
is without them doing, without us know, I mean, that's the thing is their intent can change and we never knew what it was. And then all of a sudden they're clearing, oh, they're just clearing, so they're gonna plant a garden. Oh, no, we're actually gonna come in next month and subdivide it. And now we're not known of that. So I mean, is there some sort of time frame that needs to be put in there? I mean, that's the only part about,
Is there some section here where we ask that question?
I think we should
What are you planning to
skip
do
this
with?
one and move on.
I would think the
Come
intent
back
would
to
probably
it and
answer
see
a
if
lot
we
of
can't
this.
reword it later.
You know, actually, Andy, I think that's a great observation.
Maybe it is, maybe maybe there is something further.
Yeah, and maybe we should,
Probably should move
what's his
forward.
name? Logan. Maybe we should ask Logan about this provision here.
Cause how's it enforceable?
Right, that's the other question.
That's the other thing
Yeah.
is, you don't know if a neighbor's talking to another neighbor and they have this planned out 3 years from now, I'm gonna start clearing trees over this time, and by the way, in 3 years, you can come by. That's what I was saying, is there a time frame for that conveyance? Cause if I tell my neighbor, hey, in 25 years, I'm gonna mow your lawn for the rest, for the next 25, but after you die, can I get your house? Right? Do we get a permit for, I'm just, or I get a portion of your land that I've taken care of? I don't know.
So I think we should ask Logan about that wording, Barbara. Do you think that's okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we're going through this.
Jerry, you good with that?
Yep, absolutely. And,
Did you,
and
Andy?
as Sherman said, maybe we see some things down the road here
Right.
that might.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think a simple one for that is if we just add what, explain your intent with the subdivision. I think that'll help clarify a lot of things. Then we know, because then it's like, oh, well, my intention was to give this
Develop
neighbor to
this,
my,
right.
yeah. And it's like, well, you already cleared all the stuff. So you did that before you got the permit. So we've already seen your intent.
Okay, sorry, Barbara.
no, that's good. That's what we're doing. So, the exemptions, okay?
Yeah, we changed the word
Yeah.
new to additional, perhaps.
Additional, yep. Severability should be pretty standard, hopefully.
Yeah, pretty standard.
And, okay, section 102, so we've got that for subdivision, that kind of goes back to the definition of subdivision. They seem to be matching.
In fact, it seems to indicate that ours are in line with what other municipalities have.
And so, the question here is, how many lots do we want to allow in a minor subdivision? Right now, it's 10, it's 10. Yeah,
There's a comment about that. I think it's on the next page. It's important the number's important. 2 lots means there is more work for the planning commission. 10 lots means there is more work for the administrative officer. I had a question about the number of references to the administrative officer, and since this actually raises that, Bill, what is your take on the number of times that the administrative officer is referenced with respect to particularly minor subdivisions? Major subdivisions, it's always the PC.
Yep.
I
Are you asking what number do I think should go down there?
no, I'm asking more about the number of references, because we, in our current subdivision bylaws, we do not really ever reference an administrative
Right.
officer.
All of these things are already happening.
Okay, then that's all I wanted to know.
That makes it easier for you.
Now, second
they're in
question,
place.
Yeah.
do you have a number that you think would be helpful both for your work and the PCs?
I've been thinking about this because I've read through these and I'm not entirely sure, but I kept coming back to like 3 or 4 was like, would be that number where it's really not gonna be a large number, but those tend to be the most frequent ones. So it's a balance, but it does.
So I have a comment about that.
Yep.
But in all the years I've been here, and Andy, how many times have we ever done many more than 4? So I'm all for rolling that back. I mean, 10, I think maybe Dean Davis's and Rod Chaffee's developments like
That much large plots left. to do that.
yeah.
Right.
And I just think that it makes sense that we roll it back. I mean, I don't know, is all of us here, how many times we've even done maybe 4 or 5? It's rare. We've
It's
done them.
rare.
Mhm.
So, to me, I think minor should be rolled back. It just seems like or that's all we would be doing. That's all we've ever done. Technically, other than maybe once that I've been here.
Right.
Also, major one. I don't think we've done one since I've been here.
Yeah,
There are a lot more steps to a major
Right.
than there are to a minor. It's 2 public hearings, there's
Yep.
more requirements, there's a lot more steps to that. So
So the point is, though, that if we set the number at 4, anything above 4 becomes a major subdivision.
correct.
So just so that we understand
right.
Right.
what our
We're making
numbers,
it, we're actually making it harder.
we are making it more complex and placing more responsibility on the PC for holding hearings.
It seemed to me like Howard and I, we had a question of a place that was getting subdivided, and I think that was maybe 6. I don't remember, over on McKinley. And I think there would have been a benefit in having a second hearing to that. I think that there was a lot of stuff
Mm.
getting kind of pushed through kind of quickly there.
Mm.
So maybe 4 isn't the number, maybe 6 is, maybe, I don't know what it is, but I think we need to consider that because we don't do enough of
I
them.
don't think
that-
6 or 8 is, I think that's.
Yeah, and I think
I think 4.
yeah,
4 or 5.
and as we get
Five, right
pushed,
there in the middle.
Right in the middle.
It's like,
Yeah, right.
as we get kind of, those things get pushed and we
Right.
don't do a lot of them, it would be nice for us to say, okay, we've got this one more chance to think about this.
That's
aside as
exactly
well.
right. And the other thing is, it takes less of the burden off of Bill
Right,
to have to make a decision where he might want to consult with us.
I agree.
So initially, Logan has here results in 4 or fewer, and I think that seems to make sense.
We got a 4, we got a 5.
Well,
We don't have
but I
to
think
decide tonight,
five-
right?
5 is the
No,
threshold.
let's not
for
decide
major.
tonight. Let's go with
So
it.
if it's 4 or fewer, that's the same thing.
Sure.
it's 5 or more. Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so
Mary Beth, you okay with that?
Yep. So
Going from 10 to 4?
yeah, and it
Down
was
to
2 is the minimum, right?
Yeah, 2 is.
Yeah.
you don't have a subdivision if you don't have
Right,
to.
Yeah. But I think
No, you
4 makes sense, yeah.
We haven't gone through this yet. Shouldn't say that.
Thanks, Sharon.
Okay. 4 or fewer or 3 or more?
No,
Wait, 4 or fewer or 5 or more.
Have we defined what what a sublot has to be, like a minor size? Does it have to be an acre?
no, we don't. There's nowhere, at least what I saw in here, there was no definition. That goes back to Howard's question as well. Is there any
Size.
size requirement, for example, on a boundary line adjustment to determine when a boundary line adjustment actually becomes a
We've
subdivision?
talked about this.
Sounds like
Yeah.
zoning. No, I don't know.
I think it's just, I don't think it's zoning. I think it defines that. I don't think anybody here saw this one and was like, that's correct. It seems like we should define a boundary line adjustment. I think we have the opportunity to say like what a boundary line adjustment is as a threshold for a subdivision.
Right, and that's not defined either in the definitions or
Right.
elsewhere in the document that I
But
saw.
again, bylaw has one reference in here, just
Yep.
like it does right now.
Right.
So I think it's either there's a section on bylaws or a definition, I'm sorry, a section on boundary line adjustment or a definition of boundary adjustment has the same prerequisites. The surveys have to be on file, the plots have to be on file.
Right.
Step
Right.
1. And step 2 is that the total land being adjusted is less than quarter acre, half an acre.
Whatever, yeah,
1 acre, whatever.
Yeah.
1 acre.
Right.
And
Yes.
I know that boundary line is mentioned someplace, but it's not in the definitions, and I do
Oh, I thought
think,
it was,
It is.
is it?
yeah.
Yeah. It's up
Yeah.
near the top.
Seems to
or,
me
No,
like
it's
the,
not.
No, Board of Adjustments.
I don't see it there. I mean, I know I saw it
What's
somewhere.
around?
It is around. It's,
I know I highlighted it.
Well, I'm gonna say boundaries not found in this document. I just did a word search. It didn't pull
It's
it up.
not?
How did we all see that and it not be there?
Our eyes are deceiving us, huh?
I could have sworn I saw
Ooh.
it somewhere.
Oh, exemptions, 4A.
yeah,
We
it's,
talked about it.
Yeah.
we just changed it.
Yeah. No additional lot is created and is less than.
Yeah.
A boundary or lot line adjustment where no new.
No
lot is
additional.
created.
No additional
Okay,
lot is created.
but, okay, so it was mentioned. I don't know why I couldn't find it, but that happens to me sometimes. I type something and it doesn't find it, and yet
Well,
I go and
I didn't
find it.
spell it
later.
right, so that's my own fault.
Oh,
Type so.
Okay, both of you guys are out now.
but I think we need to define it. before the exemption section.
Well, we can. Okay, so in definitions,
Yep.
a boundary line adjustment is where a process where no additional lot is created. That's something close to that.
Yep.
And then the exemption is a boundary or lot line adjustment.
Right.
Or that is.
Yeah.
That is, maybe the definition needs to be,
Definition is purely like you just said.
where no
What it is.
additional, or, and is less than half an acre or.
Less than or
whatever.
equal to 1/2 acre.
Right.
Or that comes under the exemption,
1 acre.
where a boundary line adjustment does not result in a
Transfer.
transfer, well, yeah, whatever the word is, of more than X
Acres.
acres.
Could it be a percentage of?
I mean, yeah, it could be anything.
Well, but then that becomes,
Percentage could become very large, so, but no.
because you just take the lot we just talked about tonight, right? The percentage of.
Yeah.
Of one to the other is that's a
It
big
could still be huge, right?
Could we not define it by saying it can't create a non-conforming lot?
difference. To define what's non-conforming lot. Do we have that?
In other words, you can't make a transfer like a lot line adjustment and then create a little tiny parcel that's unusable
Oh, right.
or that's landlocked.
But
Well,
that didn't.
That kind of seems under the exemption of A, right? Or no.
I'm just saying that would make it easy to
But
define.
a boundary line adjustment is typically between adjoining landowners, so it wouldn't become
Yeah,
landlocked.
it couldn't
because would
become
become
landlocked,
part of the
correct.
other way.
So right now, it's only in the definitions.
Yes, that's right.
Right,
It's
and
it's
why isn't that working?
What's only in the definitions?
Currently, in our ordinance,
Right.
what a boundary line adjustment is
Yes.
defined, and
Only reference to it anywhere in the document is in the definitions.
Right, not this one, but ours, our
Right.
current one, right?
Right. So we would be adding one additional reference to it under the exemptions.
That a
Yeah.
boundary line adjustment cannot transfer more than X acreage.
Right.
I think that's it. I mean, it really doesn't matter as a percentage. Howard, I thought your idea was a good one, but when Bill says, if you take a 50 acre parcel
Right.
and you say it's only 5%, that's still 2.5 acres.
Right,
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's, you're, yeah. So if you want to constrain it to what a reasonable person would think is a boundary line adjustment, because if you take an acre, that's a lot. I mean,
Mm.
that's not a lot, A-L-O-T, it's
Right.
a
Large
lot.
quantity, it's a large quantity.
It's a large parcel.
potential lot.
That's correct,
There
right?
you
It's
go.
it's a potential
And I
parcel.
think that's where
right.
some of the hesitation comes in with, I think this process tonight is a really good example of where that may be appropriate to have a velocity limit in there and be like, hey, that's a lot.
Can we,
So,
can we put in a fixed like amount that it shall be no more than an acre?
Right.
well, that's-
Unless review,
I
I don't want to pigeonhole somebody into something where you can't do it.
but
But
if it's more than that, then that's subdivision. It's just a different, it's
All
a
right, yeah.
different process. It's not.
Right, it's different, right? It's not saying you
Not
can't
saying
do
they
you
it.
can't do it. It's just,
Right.
yeah, all right.
Right, you go from a smaller process to a slightly longer one, which usually is like 3 more weeks. I mean, the difference between a minor subdivision and a major subdivision is like 3 weeks. So it's
One
not
meeting.
like,
or 6
not a big
weeks
deal.
total.
right. So we have, we have like the meeting tonight for this, and we have the meeting next week. We do the same thing for a minor subdivision. Meeting one night and then the hearing the next time we'd warn it. So they're talking an additional 3 weeks. So this is not like it's a very
Burdensome,
burdensome
right?
process. But I think in terms of being able to be equitable and across everybody that does this, it's like define what it is. And the exemption is
Right. Up to a
up
certain limit.
to, a half acre, 3/4 acre, whatever that is, that seems to be, and that leaves it less to interpretation. And more like it's a straight up or down. And if someone's gonna do like someone's do 0.51, then it's just not, like, it's just not, like, and that.
It all comes full circle to the fact is, if this had been in place before tonight happened, it was not that much more burdensome for him to move forward.
No.
with it.
No,
Right.
So
No.
I don't see why a half acre, something in that
Yeah,
effect, if
yeah.
everybody agrees, is totally.
Half acre.
Where no new
At least
lot
to
is
start with.
created and no more than a half acre is transferred. We can just add it to that same exemption.
all right, so we're gonna add boundary line adjustment under definitions.
Yep.
Yep.
And that is going to be purely where no additional lot is created. A process where no additional lot is.
Process where no additional lot is created. Yep.
Okay.
And then the exemption is a boundary line or lot line adjustment where no additional lot is created, and no more than 1 acre is transferred.
Half.
Excuse me, I did write half, but yeah, half acre.
Okay, so what do you want to say?
So the exemption is the boundary line adjustment, because you've got the definition of a boundary
Right,
line adjustment. So
right.
we're saying it's an exemption to the minor subdivision. And we say if it's an exemption, it's a boundary line or lot line adjustment where no additional lot is created and no more than 1/2 acre is transferred.
And more than up to, wouldn't have to. It
No
it
more
doesn't-
no more than a half
no more
acre.
than- Okay.
Yeah, that works, yeah.
Yeah. My bad.
Yeah, I was struggling with how to get the up to, and I said, well, I can go the opposite way and just say no more than 1/2 acre. So you gotta find, that's Bill's example of 0.51 was what helped me come up with.
Yeah, so that's something like, and no more than 0.5 acres are transferred.
Right, 0.5 acres, yep.
Okay.
I like that one. That's been something that's come up a few times.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
What are you really saying? So anyway, I think this is a good one.
Some towns have a special, policy or ordinance for boundary line adjustments. It's like, I don't know why. I don't know why they pull it out. I think this works very well.
I-
Fold it in.
yeah.
with-
I agree.
Okay. Section 102, I think we were down there.
Can we just look at, does not contain a lot that's been subdivided in the last 365 days. Is everybody comfortable with that?
I think so. So that's.
You think that's
so-
enough?
So a year? Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Think of like the
like
will.
Act 250 is 10 years, right?
So Wilk
I'm
and
just-
Teal, Wilk and Teal did theirs. This isn't saying you can't do it. It's saying it will not be considered minor.
Right.
Right.
So it just means you'd
That's
have
it.
to do a
It-
major
It will not be
subdivision.
considered minor.
Okay,
That's the difference. So.
all right, then
if-
C
if
36.
if it's gonna result in the construction of a public road or private road, it's no longer minor.
Right.
So there are some thresholds in
Extras.
here that if the guy that wanted to do the development off the end of Holly Lane,
Mhm.
that he wanted to do those like 10 lots, there was
Yeah.
going to be a new private road. It's major. The number of lots is irrelevant. It's major.
So playing well, I'm actually not devil's advocate, actually. I'm agreeing with you, Bill. Now I'm wondering whether we should have a similar time frame on boundary line adjustments. Because Jim Levins himself said he was sorry that we should have done all of this at the same time. I mean, in the end, it doesn't matter. We're going through the same process.
Right?
But I'm just wondering if you're saying no, all right.
No, I don't think so there.
Yeah,
And I see the intent here with,
Right.
to make sure that somebody isn't chopping up one piece of, and
To
then just
avoid being-
waiting and,
Right.
Yep.
and just
Yeah.
So
attempting
I
to skirt
think
the
within a
law as
year,
as he points
if
out.
They're trying to do it, making them wait a year is gonna be
Yeah.
painful enough, so.
Yep.
But yeah, I think as it reads, works. It's not saying they
Fine.
can't do it, it's saying you did a minor, you're coming back in 9 months to another minor, nope, it's major, just, that's the process now. So, yeah,
And we don't have to include boundary line adjustments in that
right,
time
right,
frame.
it's,
Right.
I don't,
Andy smartened me up.
and, you know, we've done a fair amount of
It'd be a
ground
light-
adjustment. And this group is the only one that's come back a second time.
That's true.
So it is a low frequency
Right.
thing.
It was just the thought that entered my head and
No, that
Andy
makes sense.
pointed out why it shouldn't have in the first place.
So Logan's comments there, so we just talked about I 1 and
Right.
number 3, 1, and 4.
So I guess what he's asking us to consider is whether there's a maximum acreage, which is kind of what we put in for the boundary line adjustment. And the maximum acreage to determine whether it's a minor or a major subdivision. And I don't think there's a provision in there for right now. That's what he's asking us.
No, but in thinking about that, we're talking about the boundary line adjustment. So going back to number 3, exemption does not contain a lot that's been subdivided in the last 3 years. Has been subdivided or had a boundary line adjustment. You want that in there? for-
Interesting.
I missed it.
Because if someone could do a boundary line adjustment, set up a subdivision,
Yeah. And avoid a major subdivision.
right?
Mhm.
Now you're
Yeah.
strategizing.
But so the question is,
That's what people do.
My wife's a paralegal.
the question is, Jerry, that in Roman numeral 3 there, it says does not contain a lot that has been subdivided in the last 365 days or had a boundary line adjustment
Right.
done.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Has been subdivided or something word.
Right, has been subdivided or experienced a boundary line adjustment.
But are we limiting the boundary line adjustments to half an acre?
Yes.
Mhm.
So would there be a significant enough boundary adjustment to where you'd be able to then subdivide? Yeah, I'm just thinking like, are we set ourselves up?
But that's why, but if they've done it within a year and then they come in, that parcel comes in for a subdivision, it's automatically major.
Yeah.
It comes to this group for approval.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
All right.
It just makes
It's
the
not
process.
preventing them, it just makes it a little
Make-
more encumbersome for
right,
them.
None of these things are prohibitive.
Right,
They're just,
Deterrence.
well, it's,
Mm,
there's
accountability.
accountability, but if you're going to try to do it in multiple steps, you're going to increase the overview of the process.
There's two.
And
ways
that
to
place, and that places less a burden on you to be the gatekeeper.
Right.
And it kicks us right back to us.
Right.
Okay, so that takes care of Logan's comments, plural there. Section 103. Isn't that
Pretty much.
the select board does determine the application fee?
Which the boundary line adjustment, and you have the check there, and subdivisions are 2 separate fees. And I don't know if it's appropriate to change it or what. I mean, it's just, they are 2 separate fees currently.
So we can just make the fee plural,
Okay.
right? F is new. Written statement on conformance with the Rutland Town Municipal Plan.
So, I mean, in reading this, the applications that we have been using will not exist as they exist now. So I think, I mean, for me, that could be a separate line, a separate acknowledgement line on the application, like applicant signs this, they sign, they're signing a couple of places, like I acknowledge this application conforms to municipal plan, separate line, separate acknowledgement, and then they move on from there. So it's not a separate, not they don't have to bring us a letter. They're just going to acknowledge in the application that it does.
And who's checking on that? Whether it is in conformance.
Well, if it's a minor, it's gonna be me. If it's a major, it's gonna be you.
Right.
So some sections in there about which parts of the town plan are you affirming you comply with? And so verifying, because with a lot of this stuff, it's they're having to provide the information, so they're doing the legwork. So it's not like I'm having to read the whole thing every time and be like, okay, so they're gonna say like, it's a section, which is gonna be similar sections of most of the time.
Future land use map
Yeah,
and
right.
community facilities.
Right.
Can I offer a pedantic observation?
Sure.
Oh, no. My wife would say no, but good thing. I prefer the term conformity because it's more official in my mind.
Argue on the language when we create the form. Form's not getting created tonight. Don't worry.
No, but the word here says written statement on conformance.
That's
Which-
kind of statutory,
What is?
statutory language, conformance with the regional plan, conformance with the town plan.
I would have thought conformity would have been. the
Your
right word.
objection is heard and overruled.
There you go. That's okay. I made it.
Yeah, I think that's why it's worded that way. Okay, anything else there in 103?
Is 103 where? Maybe I'm missing this, but is that where, is this saying what we kind of go through, like what's shown on the plat?
This is the application package that I get. I get their letter, I get their cover letter, I get their application that has the subdivider's name, their all, whatever the information is, that goes through their, right now, that's the yes, no waiver thing that they go through, which this is substantially less. Like we go like A through. It goes through A through like Z or W.
I just don't see anything about utility easements. That's all that's the only reason I was asking, because once again, tonight we brought that.
That was, yeah.
105 has more requirements.
Okay,
Well,
maybe it's just further down the road.
the easements aren't gonna be part of the supporting documents.
They're gonna be on the
That's
plat.
gonna be on the plat.
Okay.
Yeah, which is down way farther down in 105.
Okay,
Yeah, subdivision plat requirements, it's gonna be existing and proposed utilities and
Right.
also the rest of it, it's in section 105, which is
Okay.
on page 8.
my bad, I didn't
Yeah,
jump
but
ahead.
that's the
In
point.
fact, I think that's what prompted my question for Jim, that having read this just the other day, that was was in the back of my mind when Howard
There's
raised the question.
that property has a pretty substantial amount of easement square footage on it.
Okay, so Barbara, did you say we were done with
Potential.
page 4?
10,
Did you say we're done with page 4?
yeah, we're in
Oh,
104
we're in
now,
104.
section 104.
Okay. So the first paragraph, I'm rereading that again. The first paragraph talks about the sketch plan that is required for major subdivision, but not for a minor subdivision, but an applicant can provide a preliminary plan.
That's pretty much the case now.
Yep. Contains sketched, drawn plat and preliminary written descriptions relating to the requirements. So my question really is, if that's what most people do.
Want to give them the option of not submitting it, because they're not going to do it. Nobody's going to do extra work if they don't have to.
If they don't have to. So that was.
We brought this came up a little while ago and about requiring plat to be. And I think you had said it was, there's the option there for sketch plan, because if it's determined that it's just not gonna work, they haven't gone through the expense of hiring someone to create this document that they're never gonna be able to use.
Right.
So I fully support the premise and the benefits of having it. It becomes burdensome on someone if they don't end up doing it. There's a lot invested in creating that piece of paper. So I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. I can see both sides of it. I would love to have a plat every time, because that's,
But is the plat the plan? Or does it have to be?
the plat is required at the end,
Right.
not at the beginning.
Right.
They're certainly welcome to provide us with one.
Right.
But a sketch plan just drawn out is technically acceptable.
Right, no, my question was, and I think that's what you and I were talking about, Demetrio, that why make it optional to submit a sketch plan when you get much better information from the planning commission if there is a plan?
Just
Otherwise, you don't know what, huh?
Just about cost.
Right.
You know,
Well, I mean, Jim Levins did a sketch plan like
I
this.
mean,
I don't know how much
Sketch plan.
Right.
That's
I don't know how much that cost him.
a lot.
how much is
Well-
Kinko's? I mean.
oh, but
Right.
did you just not?
I thought
you
just,
just said a plat.
No,
that's what I
plan.
thought.
That's
I was talking a preliminary sketch plan. It's,
Sketch plan, I'm all over it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does say it contained a sketch drawn plat. So we have a plan, and then down below in the next page on the sentence, it says plat.
right,
Right, I thought there were two different things.
they are two different things.
Right, well, that's what I thought you were saying, a plat.
No, no.
not a sketch
Plan should contain a sketch drawn plat. The preliminary plan should contain a sketch drawn plat.
Give me your reference
Line.
line.
Next page, first line, second sentence, or
First full.
Oh, I see. A preliminary plan
should.
should contain a sketched drawn plat.
Sketch drawn, those not a.
Yeah,
Well,
sketch
I'm-
drawing.
But
Think
is
so.
this a sketch drawn plat?
I mean, I guess because I,
Looking at definitions, right?
Oh, no, so. Take a step back. Preliminary plan is the title of section 1. And it's encompassing some different things. One thing is a sketch drawn plat. So the beginning of that section is called preliminary plan.
Yeah.
It is two different things. The plan is defining the documents you're gonna submit,
Correct.
of one which is a sketch drawn plat. Another preliminary written description, so like
Right.
that is part of what you're submitting. It's not misuse of the words, it's two different things. It's intentionally two different things.
And-
Okay, I understand that. I'm just trying to make sure that we're all on the same page about that.
The preliminary plan means, here's my plan, this is my plan, here's my document for this, and this is my plan. One thing is the sketch drawn plat.
Right,
It's part of
one
the plan.
component of it.
It's a component of the plan, yes.
Right, so if a sketch drawn plat is not a surveyed plat, then we need to define that in the definitions.
I think it's defined in statute. It's
Oh.
part of the statute. That's in our current regulations too, and it's in. We've seen it before.
So the difference is sketch drawn plat versus survey plat.
I think so, at least that's.
sketch drawn.
Right,
Surveyed.
surveyed. That I was gonna do.
Because
that.
yeah, you actually see, you got your northings and your bearings, you have
Right.
your lot lines
They
and
put out a map and they make all sorts of notes on it and they bring it in. That's
A sketch
the
plan.
definition.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, that's not, yeah, you're wanting to do 0.6 acres. There's no boundary line adjustment, then that document is no longer relevant. So they gotta go back and start over again. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So do we want this to be should contain these two things? Or shall?
Are you back on page
This-
4?
The same sentence.
yeah,
Five,
5,
yeah.
the top of 5. Preliminary plan shall contain a sketch drawn.
Well,
plat.
I'm on the word not. On page 4. That's why I went back to
Alright,
page 4. Because the last line, the last sentence is a minor subdivision is not
Yeah.
required to submit a preliminary plan.
Why don't we just delete that sentence?
Or why don't we just take out the word not? A minor subdivision is required to submit a preliminary plan.
Okay,
And the applicant
But- Well, actually, then take out the rest of it, yeah.
I think I like taking out the word not, but we want to check with Logan and see why he put that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
I like taking it out, because the more information we have to start with, the
Right.
easier it is. There is discussion down as you get, but there is part of incomplete application.
yep.
And it gets into what kicks it back automatically. So, I think this might be one of those where we get farther in the document, we're gonna find out why that's there and why it was referenced like that, but we'll see.
What's the point of the preliminary plan if the preliminary plan shall not be formally approved or denied by the planning commission?
It's informational.
It's
All right,
information.
interesting.
Yeah, I get stuck on that too, Demetrio. I was thinking, but why, what's the purpose? Later on, it says that these plans are instructional so that the applicant can get information from the planning commission prior to, putting together a plat that
An
they
actual,
paid for.
yeah.
Yeah. And we found that to be very helpful.
I'm just thinking from like engineering, like you have your conceptual development, you have your scope, then your conceptual development, then you have your preliminary plans or designs, then you have your final, and then it goes out to bid. So that's where I just got hung up in it because I was thinking preliminary. I'm like, all right, so we're getting some of the drawings going, we're getting there, but then
Right.
without it being normally to go from preliminary to final or the next tier, you'd have to approve it or something. But yeah,
Right, and what they have to do is they have to submit the plat.
Yep.
At the hearing, and as minor subdivision, that's the last one that we approve. And in a major, they have a
But it says in
preliminary.
part A, if you go to part A, that's really what gives us details of like, this is to help the applicant get their act together. Preliminary appeals are not considered an application.
Right,
Yeah.
an incomplete preliminary plan shall not require a resubmission of the preliminary plan. What if it's incomplete? Wouldn't we want a resubmission?
it's not a resubmission of the preliminary plan, it's a resubmission of the
new-
final.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
no-
final,
newer
they come
final.
back with a mile, with a final plat and it's wrong, you go away. Like we're done. So yeah, that's not like, oh, okay, the preliminary one's like, okay, no, this is what we need to fix. So that way the final one
Right.
is correct.
But we
Yeah.
don't require them to go back and submit another preliminary plan for us to approve.
Right.
We give them the feedback about what needs to change, and then they submit the final plat,
Survey plat.
survey plat, thank you, for us to make the final determination on.
What happens if there's something that comes up in the final that we didn't see during the preliminary? Like there's a different change.
Good
right?
question. That came up recently, did it not? Yes, with one of the subdivisions.
Yeah.
There were a couple of things, and then, I remember I was the one who made the motion. This is a year and a half ago.
I think that was on Killington Avenue.
And I said, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong. I pulled this out of, I don't know where I pulled this out of, because I didn't really remember until somebody said something. I said, Bill, wasn't I the one who made the motion? Bill checked the minutes. And I had made the motion saying,
Oh, no, it was theirs. It was, no, it wasn't theirs.
It wasn't
was,
Levins.
the
This was just a
Wilk-
few
Wilk
weeks
Teal
ago.
one.
right.
Yeah.
It was the one way to reconsider. It was the Wilk Teal one.
Will,
yeah.
that's right.
Mhm.
And we got to a good place in the end, but the question was, whose fault was it? And ultimately, they hadn't done what I had actually put into the motion, that we would approve it contingent upon X, Y, and Z, or Z, or whatever it was. And Z never happened,
Right.
and it never got recorded. And so they were
Well,
saying that,
but yeah, that one was a unique scenario. Like there was some
odd,
odd things on both, on our
Sides.
side and their side. So it's all been corrected, but
right?
yeah, that's a hard thing. I mean, it's.
But to your point, that's,
Well, I'm just thinking
That's
like to
what happens.
avoid that from going on, maybe
Right.
having a resubmission of the preliminary, just make sure that it's good to go. Because there are times when
Preliminary one out, the preliminary one and the preliminary approval, like that's why there is, we haven't gotten to it yet. The process, I think that's
coming up.
yeah, procedure, yeah. That's section 105. We're not quite there yet.
all right.
But the preliminary one outlines what needs to be there. If they get to there and it doesn't conform or it's wrong, then it's not going to get approved.
That's right.
The approval is not obligatory.
No, but what happens if it's approved and something's missed? then will we have to go back or you just carry that? That,
That's gonna depend upon what it is.
so that's, the only reason I'm bringing it up is because like we have a lot of times where a contractor will submit a shop drawing, we'll review it and we'll make comments. They'll come back with a revised shop drawing. And then we'll check the comments. There's sometimes where there'll be another comment. Oh, I didn't catch this in the first review. Then they'll bring it back. So I'm just curious, like, just to make sure.
If once it's approved, that's what it is.
But we have, during that hearing, we look at it again.
Right.
If something is raised that is not in compliance,
Right, it won't.
It fails.
Approval.
and then then they have to correct that and go
Right.
back
It gets
and resubmit the final.
The hearings is rewarned.
Survey plan.
And everything just goes
Thank you.
3 weeks out again.
So it would just restart the finaling process.
Yes.
It just-
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an inconvenience to them, but again, they should make sure, but I didn't know if there's gonna be any blowback on our end. If we found something and we didn't find it the first time, it's like, oh, by the way, we noticed this here. And then they're gonna be like, well, you didn't notice it the first time, you can't hold us to it. I just want to make sure that.
Well, sometimes things happen, and I think Howard has picked this up. When the plat comes in, we've asked for certain things to be there.
Mhm.
And,
Yes.
and Howard's got a really keen eye, and he says, but I don't see the pin. Oh, we forgot it.
So
So
then they just resubmit the plat
they
with that on.
resubmit the plat with that on it. Exactly right.
Yeah,
Right, survey plan.
then in that case, approval can be given contingent upon
The correction.
coming back
Right.
corrected. Yeah,
But the only thing is if
But-
Howard didn't catch that and we get the final and then we say it, then they got to go back through it. But then when they say that's your fault for not catching it. That's the only thing I'm just trying to,
it only becomes an issue the next time something wants to be done with that property.
That's right.
And you gotta go back to the process and you go back and look at the meeting. So that's why in here, there's more things we will be doing that we aren't doing now.
Right.
So.
Which is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. So I think,
And there's always the opportunity to ask them
right,
if there was something we miss, if they would include it.
I know. Vermont's
There's
too
no-
nice. Like New Jersey, New York contractors, they, you don't have it right. I'm taking my
Yeah,
tools.
but
I'm going
this
home.
is- this is, but, and I know what you mean, but it's not like public safety building. If we had something wrong there after it was built, it goes back to the plans, but that's a different correction process. This
Alright.
is, this is. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think as we get through this, I think
It'll
there's
be
some
more
more
clear.
details and there's some more safeguards built into this, so.
So let's keep moving. The Logan comment on B, I think.
I think we should keep it. I mean, I know that what he's saying there, some towns have a more formal preliminary plan. I think we've just discussed that,
Mhm.
and I think there's some consensus about keeping the process.
Yeah.
We have to submit multiple preliminary plans. Find what works for Rutland Town. That's his last line on that. And I would say that I think we've discussed that, and I think we've come to.
Only difference is we haven't required that sketch plan, have we?
But almost everybody,
Oh, no, they are required, that's where
Yeah.
those 6 copies.
One of
come
our
from.
requirements right now.
That's when
Gotcha.
when they bring in those 6 copies, that's where that comes from.
Okay.
I
So
think we
get-
should
sketch
have
plan.
more than 6.
We're just staying
Well, we
with it.
can,
Yeah.
this says
Required.
5, we're gonna change that.
We're gonna
to-
change that.
We're gonna change it to 10 plus a digital copy, because that makes my life easier
10 plus digital copy.
when we get there.
Okay, number 2, application submission. Um,
I like the
So-
cross-reference.
okay. The waivers,
Yeah,
A,
and a waiver denial means it's incomplete, so
Right,
they have to go and address it before it comes back.
and this list is a lot shorter than what we have now.
And that's okay,
That's.
because a lot of things that we have aren't even applicable, so
Right, that's
that would help us.
helps in a lot of cases, yeah.
A, administrative review, B,
And you're good, we already talked about this, but you're good with all of those responsibilities, because you're basically doing them now, okay.
Yeah.
What I'll end up doing is something like I've started doing with this, but there'll be some other forms that will be our internal forms, but checklist, like, is this is this a boundary line adjustment, there'll be a flow chart to approve, for approval of getting to certain points and what's included, what's not included, and so that way it'll be consistent.
Great. Thanks.
Okay. 2, administrative action on complete application for minor. Conforms with standards in 106.
And under next page, you've got this major subdivision.
Okay.
What's that?
The-
Yeah. We don't do anything like that right now.
That's
What does it mean?
I think that that's more of a development proposal where they're going to subdivide properties and then build and come back with I thought that this was moving towards zoning, but
Yeah, I kind of did too. I'm not sure how appropriate that is for.
let's ask Logan.
Well, that's one of those sections that I was thinking was kind of pushing that envelope.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's something that when we've dealt with anything that goes like this, it's something that would be Act 250. Anyway, so it kind of takes it out, it's kind of taking it out of our hands for the most part. Not every time, I guess, but.
What do you think, Howard? About C, the phase element?
The only thing I can think of is like like that housing development that was fucking down off Middle Road.
Yep.
Big project.
But then
That wouldn't be under us anyway.
yeah, that'd be Act
That'd be Act
250.
Right.
So let's circle this one and ask Logan to come in and talk to us about that.
What specifically is your question?
Is there really any need for us to have that because it's likely to fall under Act 250?
Or what's the genesis for, like,
Yeah.
what's the origin of that kind of project?
Right. Or the language governing that kind of logic
Who did one that this applied to? And
that's only within the realm of a subdivision bylaw and not zoning.
Let's go through a couple more of these. 3, planning commission responsibility.
Yeah. It's
Um,
straightforward. Do we currently have the 500-foot rule with respect to
it's
neighboring
not
towns?
in our bylaw, but that does exist. Yes.
That's a statute?
Yeah,
that's a
we're
statute?
supposed to be doing
Okay.
that. I can't think this, and this applies to major,
Right, I know.
but we haven't done one that's applies to that buffer for town property.
All it means is that you notify the abutting town clerk.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's not a high,
No, it's
burden.
not, but we haven't, I can't think of a time we didn't do it and we were
Right.
supposed to.
we just need to make sure that that is carried through.
That just goes on the verification flow chart. Is
Right.
within 500 feet.
Yep.
it's not gonna be very applicable anywhere in
No.
town.
Well, not really. It's gonna be one of those low frequency. The only one I can think of is the Hubbards. If they do boundary line adjustments up on the east side of their, or subdivision on more of those on the east side of their property,
Touches Mendon
touches Mendon, that's gonna be the only one.
Or
that's gonna be
or the
close,
southern end.
Right.
and Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
or-
That's
Clarendon.
Clarendon,
So,
right?
They're
Right
in
there.
that corner, so they're the kind of the only ones I can think of that might actually
Right.
apply to.
We've got some folks up off of East Pittsford Road too, no?
We did Theo Hubbard's subdivision for his house, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was 500 feet or
Notified.
not.
Yeah.
So
I think it was more than 500 feet.
probably.
Away from the,
But they're,
From the
Hubbard's.
eastern border?
I think they have the
Town or the
biggest,
southern?
I
Southern.
think both directions, they own a long way
Way out,
before that,
yeah.
yeah.
But I think they have the probably largest potential in terms of parcels big enough to want to do a subdivision on a municipal boundary. Like that number starts to get smaller. So
Yeah,
We also have some folks up by Pinnacle Ridge who own property that would abut Proctor. No,
Grove Street, not Pinnacle Ridge.
Grove Street, okay.
Pinnacle Ridge doesn't get that far. But up.
Oh, no, sorry, I meant the actual physical Pinnacle Ridge.
Oh,
Ridge.
yeah, okay, yeah, but yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
not the street,
Digress.
yeah.
okay.
no problem.
Yep.
So we're still on 3, public hearing, 3A.
It seems all that seems
Oh, yeah,
reasonable.
okay. Approval,
We already do this. I haven't cross-checked it with section 106, but
and a written decision.
yeah. Isn't that you just signing the approval?
I
Well,
don't
we do
know.
it now, but we're gonna get more detailed.
Some more detail is needed for
Yeah,
that?
what do you mean there?
No, I think just. We say like the applicant, we put the number, we put the person, and then your subdivision's been approved and it's filed by this date. There's
Right.
not a lot of support detail. If someone has that letter, they say, okay, what's subdivision 312, then they come in and get 312, but I think probably detailing some more of the changes, like changing parcel, land quantity and owner A to owner B and things like that, we can include.
Oh, so you're talking about a description
Yeah,
rather than
more
a physical
descriptive of
transaction?
What
Okay.
we're actually doing.
And everyone gets a letter now,
The two people involved get the letter.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, every decision is
Yeah.
followed up by a letter.
And I have, and the letter goes in the file too. So yeah, it goes in the folder with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're thinking we need more detail in
I
there.
think more descriptive. Just, yeah, a little, there's not much now, so adding that would be beneficial.
Okay, I think we have the site visit number 4. Isn't that in the current ordinance? It's just never applied.
It's a good idea if it's necessary.
Yeah,
It's a May,
It's May, yeah.
so it's there if you want it, don't have to worry about it if you don't.
okay, 5 subdivision permit issued.
That's mostly bill for minors and we take care of the major ones. After,
Oh, no, I issue it on
Yep.
approval from you, so I
On
issue it
me.
either way.
Right.
Just whether it's me or you.
Right.
Yeah, where it comes from.
we approve it, you issue it, right?
Yeah.
Right, for the major one.
So, but what about that last line? The permit shall not be issued if the application has not been given approval.
Incomplete application.
Yeah.
So that comes. That's down farther. Where it talks about,
Requirements.
yeah, requirements, yeah, there's a. Submissions and process, yeah, it talks about if the application isn't complete, then. I think that's okay as it reads, I think it'll make more sense later on,
If the checklist hasn't been completed.
right, there, then,
Basically.
yeah,
And that's for you if it's a minor subdivision and it's for us if it's a major.
right.
But just isolated on its own, that sentence is like,
It is.
yeah,
It
but,
seems to make sense, but I think it's just stating the obvious, but
right?
sometimes. Clarification is helpful.
Okay, a Logan comment. Consider whether you want a certificate of subdivision. Okay, maybe we'll finish up on this one. Because compliance, certificate of subdivision compliance. Not all towns have them. However, most subdivision regulations in the regions do have them. So that's leading into B.
Let's end here and pick it up
Yeah,
because
this-
I have a
this is
question that's going to
more
take us
involved.
15 minutes to discuss
Okay,
on BI.
this may be our biggest decision for this.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
that's a pretty,
So this will be discussed next time.
We have nothing that comes close to this and I'm like, okay.
A
Okay.
certification from the civil engineer of record stating that they've inspected the completed project and required infrastructure improvements for conducting compliance with conditions and requirements of subdivision approval.
Yeah, that gets pretty heavy.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what is that? Just a engineer signing off on a form saying? I mean, is there a whole lot of mustard behind that? I mean,
And there's more
No,
to it.
just-
Yeah, I think that's one that's. Please write your questions for the next meeting, because that one's gonna be that's gonna have some discussion around it, because,
Because it
It's
talks
most-
about improvement of the property,
yeah.
which I still have some questions about.
well, if you're gonna do a civil engineer of record, I'm assuming you want a licensed engineer. So you probably want to state a licensed engineer, because I can go get an engineer from college up at UVM and you're gonna accept their certificate.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what of record entails.
This is definitely
But
gonna
another
be,
consideration here is the expense of this.
well, and that's a
Maybe we should
question
have
for
that definitions.
Logan, yeah. I think we're gonna end up deciding that we need Logan to chime in on that.
I do have one dumb one. I was just thinking, strategizing. So if I divided a lot, let's say at 50 acres, I divided it in 4 lots. It's a minor division.
Yep.
And I wait 366 days. I divide it again into 4 lots. Each of those lots, it's another minor division. I can wait another year.
Well, hang on.
Let's do
Let me go over this math again. You've divided your 50 acres into 4 lots,
Sure.
which now means
12.
4 lots of 12 and a half acres.
12.5.
Okay, and now the second step
If
was
you wanted
after a year.
subdivide them, re-subdivide it again a year later.
Each one.
Each one, yeah, each of those 4 lots into, so I could then create 16 lots.
Well, but
Couldn't do
now
16
you've
in-
gone above, well, it's no longer a minor subdivision, it becomes a major
If I
subdivision.
waited a full year and I did that, would it still
It
be?
takes each 12.
Because he's gone above the 4.
That's why
You could do one every year.
Yes.
Yes,
You couldn't do all in a row.
That's.
you
all.
I
can't
could
do
do-
the you can't do the second set, because if you divide those 4, now you've got 8.
No, I think he means you
Oh,
take your
4
one
into
12 and a half acre
16.
parcel, and that becomes four
Yeah, yeah.
parcels.
Right,
parcels.
but if you
Isn't that
take
what
those
you mean?
4,
4 into 16.
that 4,
Not
Each
all-
one of
not all
those-
at once.
So day one, I come in here, I'm gonna subdivide 50 lot, or let's just say, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
okay.
divide 50 acres. All right, I get approval, I go ahead and subdivide it.
Yep.
The following year, day after, I come in, I say, I want, with those 4 lots that I made, I want to subdivide each of those lots into 4 again.
No,
You
that's
can't.
16.
that's 16.
That's major.
You've gone above, it's a major subdivision.
But each
That's
one of
what I
those
was-
But if I came in, if I
It's
came in
each
with
a
only,
separate lot.
One
now.
And you do one
One of
lot,
them.
One of them.
you could do
If
one of
you-
those lots the
If
next
you
year.
did one at a time,
Yeah,
but what's the time
would
for that?
be-
Is it 1 year in between
Yes.
each
Yes.
one, or is it,
I doubt it.
yes.
No, no.
or is it a
well,
day after I can come and do the other one? Because it's still a year
The year
after.
only
Good
kicks you into a major. Right, didn't we discuss that? The
Yes.
1 year thing only takes you from a
doesn't-
minor
doesn't
into a
prohibit it,
major.
It just
Right,
changes the
right.
process.
Right.
Right.
So you've divided the 50 into 12, into 4 12 and a halves.
Yes.
Each one of those is its own entity now.
Yes, but
We
Yeah.
can't
so
group
what you're
them
saying
together
is
anymore.
Possible, but if you do that, it's a $300 application for a minor subdivision. If you wait and do each one of those individually, you're spending $1,200 rather than just doing 16 at once for the same price.
I was just trying to see if there's
Yeah.
some way to loop the hole around it or something.
Yeah, I see
You
what
you
you're
know,
saying.
but if there would be any,
Yes, but it will make it more expensive and take longer than just doing it all at once.
all right, I just know what the
Or
requirements
it's-
of the
It's more
preliminary
work
plan, all the
because
stuff.
then
for
you're
the
going to,
major.
because then you're going to redo Mylars for every time you do that, there's gonna be new Mylars every single time, like.
Engineer, it's not
that's-
that expensive. I can,
But,
you know, like I'm just
but
saying,
it's
like,
every time you do it, it's $300 to do that, rather than doing, you could do 4 for $300, or you could do 16 for $300. Why
In a
would you
major
do?
subdivision.
yeah. I guess you have to, at that point, somebody have to
Take
evaluate
50,
the cost
Take the
of,
50 and divide it into 16 for $300.
Right.
I divide into 50 for $300.
Sure.
All right.
There's no,
So that, the only thing there is the person that's doing that would have to evaluate the cost of doing a major and the
Versus
cost of
one.
that versus the cost of doing multiple minors.
Right.
For the
All
same
right.
price. Legitimately, I mean, it's the same price, and that currently, it's the same price.
Okay.
But the point, I think, Bill, is that you might as well do the major subdivision, which just has a few extra safeguards in
Right.
it. And it costs you a significant amount more.
That's what he's
And it
saying.
comes to
Yeah.
this
Right.
group versus not, like,
Right.
you're just gonna annoy the heck out of me, that's all.
Okay, let's move on. Announcements. Anyone here have announcements?
It's our first meeting since Townwide Celebration.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It was great. Cooking it all day long.
The only comment that I have about the Time Lodge celebration was that it was really, really slow until like noon.
Yeah.
And that was probably because of the
Time on sales.
conflicting events also happening.
We scheduled ours first.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure.
That was an unavoidable conflict.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunate.
once it was like about 11:30, it started to drastically pick up, so.
Yeah, it was-
Drastically.
But it was after 11:30 because I was thinking, man, last year I made a suggestion that maybe we wanted to start about 11. And I'm thinking I look like I have mud all over my face because it didn't get going until about 11:45.
Yeah, and the fireworks went off without a hitch or
Oh, that's
or a
good.
fire.
That's a hitch.
We were out in force back there, it was. A lot of us.
Every firefighter,
There was probably 8, 10 or 12 of us back there
wow,
underneath it,
wow.
very different view.
Okay, just sort of announcements, just looking ahead, our town plan. This might line up well, time-wise, once we get done with this bylaw. Our town plan, 8 years they're now 8 years long, but it's still, time is flying. It's will expire in October of 2027. I bring this up because if we want to do a major rewrite, major rehab of that town plan, we may want to go for a grant through the state, which, specializes in these sorts of things. And we probably would want to go for this next round of those grants. So just the select board just kind of wondering if we want to go for a major rewrite / grant, or if we're just going to update the data, update the maps and things like that. So I don't know when the last time was that that any of us looked at the town plan. Any initial, preliminary thoughts on that, or should we just take a look at it and make a decision in 3 weeks? On the 2nd, still gives us time.
Well, in 3 weeks, we're gonna do the other half of the document, and we're gonna have a hearing for Levins.
Yeah, I'm just looking for initial thoughts.
I
We won't be diving into anything.
I think the 23rd would be a great time to discuss that, because I'm not gonna be here then, so it'd be a great time to discuss it.
Kind of pushing it up against the deadline if we want to go.
There was a lot of work done to it the last time.
Yeah, and it's
I think there's some maps that might change, but I don't think there's gonna be a lot that's gonna.
the enhanced energy section is going to change a lot, though. But most of it's just it is just putting in new data and tables and things like that. Was anyone thinking that the town plan needs to be overhauled?
I mean,
Okay.
Especially who was thinking about the town plan?
just the word made my stomach churn.
All right, okay, I think I have my answer.
So, well, I can wait. I'm just wondering about what the process will be. Not what we will do, but obviously the town plan has to be approved by the select board.
Yeah, a public hearing here and a public hearing, the select board.
But, so is that the process, just 2 public hearings or do we have to get approval by the select board? That's my question, really.
Before we have our public hearing?
Yeah.
No, it's not statutorily, obligated, we're not obligated to do it. It might be a good thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Or just give them a summary of what we have. But the legal process is it just goes through here and then it gets handed to them. And
So what are you talking about for a timeline, Barbara?
I'm only talking about a timeline, whether we want to go for that municipal planning grant, the state grant
Understood.
in
Well,
November. That's all.
November of this year.
How much is
Or
the
next
grant
year.
for?
Hmm?
How much is the grant?
They usually run about $7,000 or $8,000 and a 10% match.
Is there a downside to going to try and get it and not needing it? Even if we get it versus not doing it in the first place?
The funds, if you get it.
Well,
That's the only I'm thinking from the state standpoint, because when we give out towns like local aid grants stuff to repave the roads and, they're expected to use that money in a certain time frame.
right, plus, I mean, if we don't use it, just goes.
Then you have
back
to pay
the
it back. Yeah, but I don't know if there's a penalty or anything on it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know with the
don't
railroad, like FRA or whatever, we had a lot of rail projects that were being done and we had a lot of money for that. And if we didn't get that money spent, and by the time it completed, we had to pay it back.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if it's like
Well, a
triple.
lot
But yeah, I
of
think
the
it's,
grants that we get, like we just did our local hazard mitigation plan, and we spend the money and we get reimbursed. They don't give us a
Yeah.
check. We can go spend.
Right.
We gotta spend it to get it
Yeah,
back.
And you only get reimbursed.
And they only give
whatever
us back, they give us back 90% of what we paid. So, yeah, no,
So
that's.
so if you don't use it,
then yeah, there's
We're
no,
not getting it, yeah.
they may just be less likely to give it to you in the future if you don't, that might be the.
That's the only drawback is that if you get it. we're
And the
awarded it.
Regional Planning Commission may not want to work with us again.
They're pushovers, we can get them.
So what's the deadline in November, Barbara, do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head.
And you're thinking that waiting till the 23rd is too late?
I think that doesn't leave
Yes.
a lot of time to apply for it. To do the application.
Right. So let's
Do
think
the-
about it for the next meeting.
Well, why don't you just put it on the meeting docket?
Yep.
And whatever time we have after we've gone through this, my concern is this took a lot of time tonight and we're only halfway through the document. So unless we can push that off and we do half as much as we did this time, and then we talk about the planning grant, and then you won't run out of time.
We
and
do
you-
Levins, we do the town plan, then we do this.
Yeah.
And with this again.
Well, I think the Regional
Right.
Planning Commission can do most of the grant writing.
Just deciding whether or not we want to do it or not.
That's really the decision.
They do have a meeting next week on Tuesday for the planning commission. The Rutland Regional
Yeah,
Plan-
that's the board
Board of
meeting.
Commissioners, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's,
and yeah, they don't make decisions on this level. Okay,
So why don't you put it on the agenda? You can always take
got
it.
got it. Okay. All right, let's take care of these
Board of Commissioners.
minutes.
Okay, I make a motion to accept all 3 sets of minutes dating back to July 10th, including July 31st and August 1st, since we have a quorum of all
everybody.
people attending those meetings
All right.
present this evening.
I'm sick of reading these minutes.
No second?
Second it.
Thanks, Jerry.
Are you sure we've got?
I am absolutely sure, Barbara. I wouldn't make a motion unless I had it in concrete. And we have at least 4 members
From each.
currently present from each night. There you go. That's why you
Looked
second.
as well.
Hey, great, Jerry.
I said, finally, we're gonna get those done tonight.
Okay. All right, that is correct.
Thank you.
Any discussion? All those in favor of accepting the minutes of July 10th, July 31st, and August 21st, say aye.
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 Mary Beth, you up there?
Yeah, I said aye.
Thank you.
Phew, opposed? Okay, great. Let's not do that again.
All right.
All right,
Motion to adjourn?
okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.